So when I was in middle school, we had to do a project about the Underground Railroad, and so we had to do it in our writing class and our history class. So in the writing class, I had to do an essay, which was easy, and I loved it, and had all the info, and got an A, and that was great. And then when it came time to do the poster in history class and do all the I just couldn't figure out what facts I wanted to put on it, and I just wanted to add the whole essay, but I couldn't do that, and I wasn't creative with drawing or coming up with what I thought things looked like. Did I just had the facts that I was able to gather with my essay. So since the poster was half my grade, I failed miserably, even though my essay was amazing and I got an A and everything was great, but I still failed.
Okay. So your essay part went really well, and you got a really good grade in your writing class.
Yes.
But the other part of that was the history.
Yeah.
And you didn't do well on that.
Not at all.
But you tried, right?
Yes.
How did that, what happened there? I mean, do you know like what it was that kind of stopped you as far as conceptualizing your project?
I just couldn't visualize what was written. I'm really bad with seeing things. Like, I couldn't become a designer. I wouldn't be able to where to put things. I just am able to gather facts and write it really well and explain it in my writing, just not with visualness. Like I said, I focused more on the writing than the, hey, this is what it visually is. So I'm more, I don't know, like I can not good at explaining right now, but
Okay.
I can explain better in my writing than with visual stuff, like pictures.
So what did they want on the poster? Did they want like pictures and some kind of fancy, word scheme?
Yeah, they wanted facts written down, and the facts that you wrote down, they wanted you to create pictures or, make sure it's like popping out, something that was actually like 3D.
Oh, like something really artsy and elaborate?
Yeah, something I couldn't do.
They didn't want like a printed picture on there?
They wanted something you could build.
Yeah, okay. Okay, and they wanted some kind of artifact like you would representing that part of the fact.
Yeah, like clay or something you had to make.
Okay. And that was hard for you to kind of think, oh, what can I make on this poster?
Yeah. Like, I was able to write all the facts and have all those done, and there it is. But they want something visual to look at, not just read. And that was hard for me.
So how did your poster actually end up being?
Very flat and just words, and I had a few pictures on there because we were able to put some pictures. I just didn't meet all the requirements, so it was it wasn't acceptable in their eyes.
Oh, well, did they say there was anything you did that was good?
The facts and the doing the essay, they amended me on that, for trying, but it was still a failed grade.
Okay, and so the poster and the essay went together though.
Mm-hmm.
So
it was just two different classes.
Two different classes, but they were kind of working together.
Yeah.
Okay, so then it did kind of affect both.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Okay, so I guess what I'm hearing is a lot of, you learned the facts, right? Mm-hmm. You had your words and you spent a lot of time reading and writing what you had learned. So you were actually probably able to grasp a lot of those facts.
Yeah.
For the Underground Railroad. Was there anything like, did you have to work with other people, or was it just your?
It was just me.
Okay.
So I didn't have a lot of help from my parents because they aren't as creative either. So I just didn't have a lot of help.
Okay.
So, And I, of course, had to do it on my own and, you know, figure things out on my own. I just would have liked to work in a group. It just wasn't a group thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's really interesting you say that because you were on your own and doing this project, and you had your strength, you know, which was your writing and your learning that way. But then you also had this required part where you needed to be more hands-on and visual, and that's just not really your strong suit.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no group or anybody else to really kind of help you, you know, get an idea of what that would look like.
Yeah.
So I mean, being able to complete the task at all was actually pretty cool because you did it on your own.
Yeah.
You know, and you did a really good job on your essay.
Yeah.
So
that made me feel proud, like being able to get an A on that. And I loved the teacher; she was great.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And did you remember the stuff that you learned for a while?
For a while, yeah.
I mean,
it was
you're a
so
little
long
older
ago.
Now, but yeah, like you probably remembered that stuff that you wrote for quite a while because you spent so much time thinking about it, and you felt good and were rewarded from all that time and effort you spent on it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is nice. Okay. So
I know not being able to. It kind of hurt hearing that I wasn't artistic and as creative. Not like they told me I was like, oh, this is terrible, but it's like, oh, we just needed to try a little harder.
So how does that translate into today?
It just made me, not that I felt underappreciated, it just was like, I worked so hard on one thing and didn't finish the rest, so it just made me feel like, wow, you can't accomplish things. So I feel like I procrastinate more. I mean, I procrastinated then a little bit, but nowadays it just feels like, why try so hard when if I can't finish it, I don't get praise, you know?
Yeah.
It's hard to want to finish when it's like, well, you didn't finish, so you didn't try. It made me feel like I didn't try, and I did.
Yeah, you clearly did, and you did really well on the part that you were able to, you know, that was kind of more in your field.
Yeah.
I'm also not visual like that. I can't think of things, and I don't get ideas like that.
Yeah, me neither.
But what I am hearing is that this story is kind of related to a tendency to procrastinate later in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And this was kind of one of those moments where you realize, man, like, why would I even try? So sorry, there's some funny words over there.
Oh, it's okay.
Why would you even try so hard
Yeah.
when people don't, respect or encourage what you were able to do?
Yeah.
You know?
And they did at one point a little bit, like I mentioned before, but it was not as, it still made me feel, wow, I didn't do what I was supposed to do.
Yeah, like artistic ability is inherent in people.
Yeah.
Like it's just something you just try and it's there,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not always the case.
No.
So.
Yeah, everybody's different, and I feel like some people don't understand that.
Yeah, so that kind of drove you into a corner in that situation where it's just like, man, I did my best.
Yeah, and that was our whole, huge part of our grade in that class, in those classes, those two classes in that grade. I think it was 6th grade. Oh, excuse me, it was 8th grade. It was middle school.
Oh.
It just was hard. It's hard to swallow.
Yeah. So that, do you still feel that way these days as an adult?
Yeah, I feel like I procrastinate a lot more, and I just feel like, well, I do strive to work hard and be a hard worker. I always expect to feel unappreciated.
Oh.
I expect it. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna work hard, but I may not get the praise that I want to hear.
Yeah.
Or that I should hear. Maybe I expect it too much. I shouldn't, but it's just, yeah. I just expect it to be that way.
So, what are some things that you think that you could do realistically to try and change that attitude, that behavior, that belief you have to expect to be unappreciated?
I should not expect it is part of the thing. I should just, I feel like I often focus too much on the negative of people not appreciating me, and then when I do get appreciated, I don't get to feel that joy because I expect to feel let down. So I just wallow in that misery, I guess. But I mean, it feels good to be appreciated, but it's just when I am, it's like, oh, well, it's a little too late now.
Do you ever feel incredulous, like, oh, I feel appreciated, but I'm not really sure that people really are being genuine with me?
Yes, all the time. Because I feel like they're doing it just to please me in a way, to make, like, oh, I'm gonna do this, but later on, let them know, hey, I did this for you, to use it as a guilt trip.
Yeah,
I guess.
Not as a real sincere kindness, but as a tool for later.
Yes.
Okay. So, do you ever, I mean, this might be weird, but do you ever hear a little voice in your head that says negative things, like when you're, let's say, somebody's done something nice for you and they're appreciative of something you've done?
Yeah.
Do you ever hear like a little voice that's like, she's just trying to get you?
A lot. Yeah. And that comes a lot from my anxiety because I always worry that they're doing it for a reason, but not the reasons that they should be. Like, oh, they're doing this so they can say they did it, or they're doing this so they can be better than me, or they're doing this because they're trying to get something out of me, or
they have another using me. Motivation.
Yeah, I always feel that way, and I know I shouldn't, but because that's not how people think.
Yeah,
but I've had times. Feel. Yeah, but I've had times where that has been true.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah.
Well, what do you think about? Have you ever tried, whenever you hear this voice, replying back to it?
I have lately, because I've noticed that when I do talk better to myself, that I feel better about the situation. It's like, okay, well, maybe that negative part isn't true.
Yeah, and even if you still have the negative part, it still helps to follow up with a not negative part.
Yeah.
And you said you have been doing that, and it has made you feel better about things.
Mm-hmm. It makes me feel like, people aren't just there to make your life miserable on purpose.
Yeah. No. No, and it's like if you have these feelings, but rationally, like, that's not probably 100% true, then it's excellent to call yourself out on it and tell yourself that, so you can kind of restore your own faith and hope in people.
Yeah. Everybody's human and everybody makes mistakes, and you can't expect everybody to be the way you want them to be, or, expect that everything's going to be negative.
Yeah.
So.
Well, do you think positive self-talk would be something you'll continue to do?
Yes.
Fantastic.